Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more SC2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between Empire Kaz and GL Snute. This is going to be a Terran versus Zerg, Kaz versus Snute here on the map Shakuras Plateau. And let us begin up here in the upper left-hand spawn position with our red Zerg player, GL Snute. Snute took first place at the One Nation of Gamers I2 StarCraft 2 Invitational. This was in April of 2012, and in February of 2012, he took first place at the Neiman LAN. His opponent over here in the lower right-hand spawn position is our blue Terran player, Empire Kaz. Kaz took third place at the IEM Season 6 Global Challenge in Kyiv, which was in January of 2012, and in December of 2011, he took third place at the World Cyber Games. Alright guys, that is some player information to start off. I've still been debating whether or not I should be doing that, or if I should be doing ladder games. And I want to ask you guys what you think, but the truth is, every time I ask, I get both sides of the fence. Some people want ladder information, some people want tournament information, some people don't care. So I guess I'll just throw whatever I feel like at you every game, and yeah, there you have it. I figure some information's better than nothing, and I've had people ask for this. People said, all right, well, anyone can look up tournament information and anyone can look up ladder information. Why don't you give us something more about them? I don't know anything else about them. I'm not on a first name basis with any of the professional players, so I can't really tell you what they like with their breakfast cereal. Sorry. Snute opening up with a 15 hatch. We'll be following that up with a spawning pool, and we'll keep an eye on things after that. Back over here for Kaz, still not seeing any refinery, so it looks like it will be a one barracks into expand here for our blue Terran player, Empire Kaz. Very, very popular econ focused opening here for Terran players. You can see that orbital and that first Marine now come out as the SCV moves down, and is he going straight for that command center? Looks like he will be. First grabbing a patch of minerals, then we'll build that command center right here at the natural. So still no scouting here for Kaz, as he's just focused on getting this up as soon as possible, and there it is. Command center is being built. First Marine now also out, which is going to be pretty pivotal because he will need some defense. This is a very vulnerable position. That's why a lot of times you see, besides the fact that people want to hide their expansions and building up on the high ground, it's also a lot safer if it's up here. So we are going to see Kaz with the Marine try to stop any drones or Zerglings from pushing up here, and not only scouting this, but also engaging that SCV to delay the building, the construction of that command center. Back over here for Snute, we do have the spawning pool in play. Still no extractor from him. He's opening up with 2 queens. And the fact that there's still no gas leads me to believe one of two things. He's either going to go for a quick third, or we're going to be seeing that Ice Fisher build, which is going queen heavy, droning up very, very hard till around 44 supply, and then transitioning into extractors and teching up from that point. So we'll see if he decides to follow these queens up with any more. Also, that's usually accompanied with a spine crawler and sometimes a couple of Zerglings. I'm actually a bit surprised that I don't think there's any Zerglings at all right now in play. No, there's not. So no Zerglings at all for Snute. I'm just surprised that he didn't want to grab the towers and try to get some early game scouting done. He does have the Overlord scout moving forward, and he's got enough vision to see that this expansion is here and mining right now, so at least he's aware of that. Now we do see those double queens, so it is in fact the Ice Fisher build here coming from Snute. Again, queen heavy as defense. There's a spine crawler as well, and droning up typically to around 44 supply, and then placing down those extractors and teching up from there. The other great thing about this too, though, is if you happen to get a Banshee opening from your opponent, obviously all these queens can deal with that, but you can also start spreading creep, and it looks like that's what Snute's going to be doing right now. So with all these early queens, you're able to get a lot of creep spread early on, which is really, really awesome as well, of course. Now back over here for Kaz, we are seeing one factory in play with a second factory building. Now this factory with a reactor on it will be going straight for some double Hellions here, so this is going to give Kaz a bit of map control here early on, and with that also going to be able to do a little bit of scouting, a little bit of poking and prodding. Finish building that tech lab, lifting off this factory as soon as that finishes and placing it down. Now let's see, are we going to see Blue Flame or Siege Tech? Which will it be? It is Siege Tech. So we're going to be seeing some quick siege tech here from Kaz, and actually building his first siege tank there as well. First 2 Hellions in play with 2 more in production. Grab those towers first, and again, there hasn't been any Zerglings in play at all here for Snute. In fact, he is now going into Roaches, as we've got that Roach Warren building at the moment. Getting placed right down here. Now let's see what those Hellions are able to do. The great thing about these early Hellions is, of course, it gives Kaz map control, but also it allows him to do a bit of scouting really quickly. He could very quickly move into this third and spot that hatchery. Second Hellions now joining the fun, and they are in fact going up into the third. So he could sit there and do a bit of damage, but deciding to pull back. It's a little bit surprising to me. You know, he could sit there with those 4 Hellions, and yeah, he wouldn't kill this anytime soon, but he could do some pretty significant damage, and that way a follow-up push could take out that hatchery. But again, we're not seeing that there from Kaz. We do have 2 armories building here from Kaz as he's continuing to devote himself to this mech style of play. Also a 3rd command center being built right now. Quite likely going to be changing that into an orbital command, working to get that natural and that main base saturated as quickly as possible. Got 2 overlords over here and then 2 on this side as well. So Snute, plenty of overlords in position to do some sacrificial scouting. 3rd base now finished. We'll be working to saturate that. It does have some roaches coming on through as well. 3 in play with 1 in production. Has managed to force back those Hellions. Looks like they did in fact actually take a little bit of damage as well. Metabolic boost also now just finishing for Snute, and he is beginning his upgrades. And again, we do have these armories right here. Now researching the 1-1 mech upgrades for Kaz. So he's going to be going incredibly mech heavy this game. Starport also building at the moment. So yeah, just a ton of macro. Both players really focused on their economy, focused on getting upgrades here. Bit of a Baneling nest coming through, so we'll be spieling Baneling Roach from our Zerg player Snute, also continuing up that creep spread. Love to see that, of course. Oh, here we go. Sacrificial Scout now moving in for Snute. And he'll be spotting everything. Researching armories, the double factories. Research also coming out of this right here. So he is fully aware of what's going on right now. Knows that he will be up against a mech style of play, although he didn't spot much of the army at all. There's only so many units over here. We got a few tanks and those Hellions over in this position, plus the Hellions in the center of the map. And 3 more factories now coming out. Kaz gonna be sitting with 5 factories once that finishes. Also not coming out with a medevac now. That will allow him to do some drop harass. Of course, most likely with those blue flame Hellions. So here he goes, now lifting up those Hellions, pulling out. And we do actually have that orbital command lifting off, and well, it looks like it will be placed right over here. So once this drop is complete, we'll like to see Kaz go back with that and pick up some SCVs to drop over in that position. That is going to be Kaz's 3rd. 4th base coming out over here for Snute. Snute continues upgrades, actually now working up those ventral sacks for the overlords, which is going to be the transport ability for them. Should also get that speed. Here we go, Hellions now pulling in, trying to get those drones. Oh, met by the Queens, plus the Zerglings and the Spinecrawler. That made very, very quick work of those blue flame Hellions. Unfortunately, therefore, Kaz wasn't able to do much damage at all. Take a quick look. Only killed off 1 drone. Definitely not what he was hoping to do, but a beautiful response there for Snute. I mean, he met that absolutely perfectly. As you can see, Snute has scouted out this expansion with that Overlord and is now working down these rocks, which is something that Kaz can see. He can spot the fact that those rocks are getting worked down. Bunch more roaches coming out right now here for Snute. Snute also getting very, very close to finishing those ventral sacks. I do want to see that Overlord speed as well, though. Transport is all fine and good, but without that Overlord speed, those Overlords is just pretty terrible at actually doing it and transporting. Another blue flame Hellion drop, this time in the main. Gonna get a few more kills than he did the last time. He's able to roast a few of those workers there. Gonna be met by these roaches though, so won't be able to do too much more damage. He's continuing to dance around though. Doing a decent job right now. Staying away from those roaches. That Queen though, again with that Queen new attack upgrade, being able to attack from a range. Finally able to take care of that. Let's take a quick look. 10 workers killed. Now he is lifted up. There it is. After breaking down those rocks. Now moving in, and he's gonna get a few worker kills himself and force a liftoff. Got some Hellions moving down to meet these. Actually, he might not be lifting off immediately. It's going to force roaches to come down before it does that. Although, what good is it really going to do? Just two or three roaches push on over there, and he'll be all set. Big roach push moving across the center of the map right now here for Snute. Kaz does have a planetary fortress right there, which is going to help him defend quite a bit against those roaches, but that is too many. It's not going to help him defend against that many roaches. He's going to have to move down here with some of his stores, plus those siege tanks. Got those 2-2 upgrades coming out right now for Kaz. Roaches forcing the lift off, taking care of that refinery there. So the Overlord Command is forced to lift off. Is he going to try to place it in another position? Or what is he going to do? Actually going to place it down here and just use it to saturate for the time being. Are seeing a sensor tower getting placed down. Lots of Hellions working across the map. Now Snute can clearly see this with all that creep spray that he has. Hellions trying to make it up. Oh boy, he's losing a ton of Hellions in transit here. Now he does have a couple of Hellions moving on over into this position as well. These Hellions doing what they can over here. Hellions now working at the third as well. 21 worker kills so far. He's lost a ton of resources though in those Hellions. Let's take a look. 21 worker kills is the total. Let's take a look at the resources lost. Yeah, Kaz losing almost 1,000 more resources than his opponent Snute. Overlord speed and transport now finished. We've got a ton of roaches getting ready to drop in the main. Here it goes. Big response here by Kaz. He's lifting up a majority of his force. Medevac moving across the map to drop some Hellions is going to spot this. How is Kaz? What is Kaz doing? Where's his response? Did he really not see that? He walked right by it, finally pulling back with some of those Thors. But we're about to have so many roaches dropping in the main. He's actually going to save a bunch of them, move them on top of the tanks. Let's take a look at what's going to happen here. Thor's taking some massive damage. We got a couple tanks over in this position as well. A few Vikings trying to take out a few of those Overlords. Also, the Overlord's taking fire from those Thors. He's going straight up on the Thors, taking them out as quickly as possible. Should be able to get at least one more. There it is, gets one more Thor. Let's take another look there at those resources lost. Now remember, just a moment ago, oh, we had a drop over here. Those two Hellions dropping in that position, killing off a couple more workers, not a ton. Snute was able to kill off 25 workers as well in that big drop engagement. We'll take a look right now at the resources lost, and now they're even. So actually, there you go. Kaz was behind about 1,000 resources. Now they are about even, but also Kaz has lost a ton of workers since that last engagement. And Snute is about where he was anyways, so some pretty decent damage there by Snute. Also another Overlord moving over here for no good reason. He doesn't have anything loaded up.
Ready to raise some hell.
And Kaz is ready to raise some hell. Vikings will be moving down to meet this Overlord. Here it comes, Nidus Worm in the main. That's building right now. Clearly Kaz sees this, but he's not responding or something. I don't know. It's just about to finish. There it is. He's going to kill it very quickly. Look at those Vikings work through that. Oh my gosh. Enough roaches got through, though, to do some damage right now. He's going to take out that Thor and go straight. Yeah, there you go. Going straight for the armory. Going to try. Takes it out. So that's going to prevent the third armor upgrades from coming out here. 4K is going to be forced to build another armor to get that out. Or just wait until this one finishes the weapons and then research the armor after that. Also, a couple more worker kills there for Snute as well. Snute being pretty effective with this dropping. Just more mech coming out. We do have a transition into a few more starports here as well. Now, we're going to be seeing this here from Kaz, most likely, so prepare to go Viking heavy if we do see a Broodlord switch from Snute, which we are seeing that first Spire now building. We'll see if he goes straight for the Greater Spire. I assume him to do that. I assume he is going to do that, so obviously Kaz will be plenty ready if he's able to get out those once he finishes these double starports, so he's going to be able to produce so many Vikings when the time comes. Hopefully he doesn't do this too early, though. Just hold off until he absolutely needs it, you know? That would kind of be a huge waste. Looks like we got another Nidus Worm. This one is sitting over in this position. Also another drop planned here for Kaz. Now Snute is going to be aware of this. He sees the medevac now moving. We do have a missile turret getting placed up over here. Here come the Hellions. Got a couple queens to deal with that. That is enough. Takes out the medevac. Roaches trying to push down over here. They are met by a ton of Thors, Hellions, plus that planetary fortress. Not able to do much over there at all. This Nidus Worm is gone. Another Nidus Worm over here. This is for some quick defense. Any more drops coming on? Any more? I gotta be so careful to watch both these players because both of them have the ability to drop, and both of them very, very mobile. Roach scouting up into this position. We also got a few Roaches plus Infestors moving over here as a bulk of Kaz's army is over here. He could do a little bit of damage with this. Nice Neural Parasite, grabbing that Thor, taking out the other one. Yes, he's going to be able to do a bit of damage. These Thors are so slow. Drops that sensor tower.
Ready to plunder.
Kaz ready to plunder. Roaches and Infestors moving over here. Fungal Growth, we're going to see a couple more Neural Parasites as well. So with that Mind Control, able to do a lot of damage to these Thor numbers. Also got the Roaches over here doing some damage. Oh, is he really going to do this? I was just about to say, if he really was about to take out all those Thors, that would have been ridiculous. That was pretty close. We just got Roaches everywhere. Snute being a real pain in the butt here for Kaz. He's got just a little bit of army in so many positions. Another missile turret coming over here for Kaz. Snute getting some spine crawlers as defense over in this position. Snute sitting with so many bases right now. Sitting with a total of 7 bases at the moment. That is unreal. A few overlords over in this position, although obviously there's nothing loaded up in them, so I'm not sure what he intends to do with that. No more drops coming out here for Kaz. Kaz does have this saturated. Does need to work to get this saturated very shortly as well. We're going to see some creep actually make it up onto the high ground here. If Snute grants some vision, he can place a tumor there as well. Roaches now moving up here, and this is the problem with the mech army. As strong as it is so slow. He's going to go straight for that planetary. I don't think he's got enough DPS to take it out, though. It's going to force him back right now. Just mass repairs. He couldn't contend with that. Going to have a Nidus Worm building up in this spot. He also has a couple of forces moving over here. He's going to continue to mic around with these Roaches. Getting up nice and close to those Thors. Taking out at least 2. There's the second. Now pulling back just to save a couple of Roaches. Well, that wasn't worth it. Lost a ton of resources there just to save a few Roaches. Another Nidus Worm being built. Where is it? Why isn't it being built? There's a Thor right there. Yeah, don't want that. With a Thor right there, it would have taken it out before it even started. So, which is, you know, good on Kaz there for that. Something I do really want to see more of here from Kaz though is, there you go. It happened. Something I do want to see more from Kaz though is some more harass there with dropping, but he's gonna have a hard time. I mean, yeah, with all these spine crawlers everywhere. I mean, this is the perfect defense here for Snute. He's building things nice and tight, and also placing down a ton of spine crawlers. This is really gonna stop any Hellion harass from being that effective, which is really exactly what he needs. Now we have a transition in Ultralisk. Also, look at this, Ravens coming out here for Kaz. A little bit unorthodox play, but Ravens can certainly be effective. He is also coming out with those Seeker missiles. Very, very strong if you get them lobbed into a group of tightly clumped up enemies. A few Roaches moving forward. Oh boy, the tank damage. So much. A ton of infested Terrans getting placed down. Also a couple of Neuroparasites going down on a few of those Thors, but Kaz quite handily dealt with that. Losing an Infestor. This is forcing Snute to pull back right now. That was some great defense there by Kaz. With that siege line, he absolutely demolished those Roaches and those Infestors there that Snute attempted to push out with. I am, again, just incredibly impressed here that Snute is, you know, having the presence to actually... Oh, look at this! I'm going to stop talking right now because we've got 3 Nidus Worms coming up here for Snute. Pretty much guaranteeing that he's going to get some forces up here. Now again, these cost a hefty amount, so he is taking some losses here. He's got a ton more loaded up, but he's not actually doing anything with it. All those Overlords have been taken out as well. Why? I'm surprised he didn't unload. I guess because of those siege tanks and all those Thors right there. He's going to pull with some forces, knowing now that Kaz is all the way in his main with the bulk of his army, and is actually now moving towards his position. I still don't know that he has enough. Nidus Worms just absolutely everywhere for Snute. Snute has a few also building up in this spot, so he's going to go again straight for that planetary now. He does have those 3/3 upgrades, so he's got some pretty strong damage, but this mass SCV repair is kind of too much for him to deal with. We got a few Infestors coming up here. They will be placing down a ton of infested Terrans, and he is going to take out that planetary, no question about that. Continuing to do some damage over here. Finally able to take out this one. There it is. Also trying to break down that orbital command. That command center will be forcing a liftoff. Kaz finally had enough. Is moving out across the map right now. Can't believe we've got 3 Nidus Swarms over here. That's a riot. Here comes though, big push now from Kaz. Now Kaz does have his three upgrades finished. The 2 armor still not coming out, which is perplexing to me that he still has not finished that. Ton of Ravens in play. 5 Ravens in play. That's a lot of Seeker missiles, point defense drones if needed. It's gonna help him against those Corruptors, but he has got a ton of Vikings as well, so I don't know. These Thors do so much damage, it is nuts. It is absolutely nuts how much damage those Thors do. Look how quickly they just worked their way through that command center. There aren't even a ton of tanks in play either. Roach is trying to bypass that army. I don't know. This is so interesting because Snute has been in, it seems like a dominant position. He's been doing a lot of damage, been very active this game. But coming up against this Thor army is just such a hefty task. All those Nidus networks have been taken care of. Roach is now moving up here into the natural expansion. They're going to do some significant damage, but we still also have Kaz pushing as well. And of course he will be able to do some damage too. Tanks setting up on the high ground. However, those Roaches are able to get right on top of them, so he's going to take that out. Thor's continuing to work, and actually Kaz decided to pull all the way back to his main as he's really concerned about this push from these Roaches. So that was a great counterattack for Snute, the fact that he was able to force this entire army back. He still, though, lost this base. A few more Nidus is over in this position. Going to continue to try to move up into the main and do some more damage. That nice network got taken out very quickly. Still just doing a little bit of damage. Not target firing anything down, though, so we've just been weakening this stuff up. And now we got another Nidus Swarm coming out. Let's see what he tries to unload with this. Just got a Queen. Okay. That was a waste again. You know, as much as I love all this Nidus play, we do have to keep in mind that it costs resources, and whenever he doesn't do any damage with that, it's just resources is kind of thrown away, which is of course concerning. Army size, Kaz is actually in a leading spot right now with 140 to 110. Now we're going to saturate up this expansion. Does have this expansion working as well. Roach is now moving up here. He's going to take this out. Get a couple SCVs repairing. Should be able to get it, nevertheless. And you may say, what's the point? All those minerals are gone. It's the Vespene that Kaz is really focused on here, so. Roaches get taken out very quickly from those very robust Thors. Broodlords now joining the fun, though. Couple of Broodlords here for Snute, pushing up into one of the only heavily saturated expansions right now for Kaz. So losing this would obviously be pretty terrible. He's got a lot of Vikings, and that's going to deal with this without issue. Still is going to lose a few of these SCVs here to that Broodlord fire. And now Kaz continues up his big, heavy mech push. Thor heavy, so scary to deal with. You've seen why. You saw how quickly it took out these 2 bases over here. Alright, here we go. Vikings and Ravens. Roaches going to unburrow right on top of this army. Let's see how that does, huh? Oh, there's the cloak detection from the Ravens. He needs to unburrow immediately. There it is. A ton of spines also getting placed down. Snute doing everything he can to defend here. Now there's way too much anti-air for any Broodlords to be effective right now with all those Vikings, plus the point defense drones of those Ravens stopping that Corruptor fire from damaging those Vikings. So it's a really nice unit composition here that we're seeing from Kaz, and as you can see, even though he took some hefty damage there, he's able to just lay waste to Snute's army. Snute falling pretty heavily behind here in terms of resources lost as Kaz continues his death push. Here comes the counterattack, though. Now, last time this happened, we saw Kaz move all the way back with his army. I don't know if he's going to have to do that this time, though. He's got pretty strong defense with 4 Thors plus a tank on the high ground. So he's going to continue his death march there with those Thors. And actually, yeah, Snute pulling back there with the Roaches. I'm a little concerned for Snute here. I don't know. I mean, he's just continuing to mass up Roaches, but is it enough? That's the question. He's sitting on so many resources, but he is supply capped at the moment. So he's just continuously throwing his armies at what Kaz has. Now the issue is that he really needs to continue to, oh, the Seeker missiles doing so much damage. However, also doing damage to the Thors as well, and Snute able to mop up the last of those Thors moving across the center of the map. So he has, at least for now, defended his 2 remaining mining bases. As you can see, pretty much everything else is mined out. Gonna be pulling a ton of drones off of here and moving it to one of these other spots. Most likely over here. So these 2 bases are really what Snute needs to work to defend right now. It's gotta be his main focus. 15 infestors coming out for Snute. Ton of roaches marching across the map. He's gonna force this lift off very quickly. And again, remember, Vespene is pretty important here for Kaz, as he's very, very low in terms of what he's banking right now. Roaches need to stay away from that siege line, very wisely pulling back. Wait till those infestors come out, get some fungal growths, infested Terrans, all that fun stuff. Also, another hatchery getting placed up over here. Snute doing okay. I still do want him to try to focus on trying to hit these expansions, though. Now remember, it's not like his Overlord dropping capabilities have disappeared, but with that in mind, he does need to keep forces around to defend. Remember, these are his 2 primary positions that he needs to absolutely positively defend. This expansion getting taken out in a matter of seconds. Oh no, those infestors. Ouch. Did you see that? He just lost so many infestors and did absolutely nothing with them. That was a terrible, terrible mistake for Snute. He lost so many resources, did not even so much as land a fungal growth with those infestors. No fungal, no neural parasite, no infested Terran. Any of those things would have been better than nothing, but instead he just lost them. That was terrible. That was really, really terrible, and definitely not what Snute needed right now this late in the game, where every resource counts. He's going to be pulling all of his forces in here, just trying to retreat from this position. Looks like he's conceded this spot. Realized that, hey, I've lost these. Let's get to mining over here. What the heck, why not? Roach is now in the center of the map. Heavy saturation at both of these expansions, so he's just switching the bases that he's mining from back and forth. And we get some more guys up here, and here it is. He's now pushing up. And again, taking out this expansion would be pretty huge for him. The question is he going to be able to do it with the mass repair from these SCVs? SCVs have stopped repairing for some reason. There we go. Finally picked it back up. Tanks sieging up. They will get taken out very quickly. These roaches do a lot of damage when they get up close here. And do they? Yes, he drops it. Takes out the command center. Now this orbital command is still here. And with that, Kaz will be able to get back to mining very quickly. But obviously, a secondary push from Snute to take that out, because without a planetary there, those roaches will take that out very, very quickly. It's taking out that Nidus for now. Also has the Vikings and Ravens dancing across the map. Let's see what he's going to do with this. Obviously, he can... Oh boy. Oh, fungal. Oh, no. Oh, this is bad for Kaz. He's going to lose everything. All of his Vikings, all of his Ravens kaput. He is very low on resources. That was a big, big loss. So many drones killed up here. This is just a crazy back and forth. Oh, Kaz pushes up into the 12 o'clock expansion, roast an incredible amount of drones after losing all of his Vikings and Ravens, and now continues his death march across the map. And we do have a couple. We do have at least one Raven over here with the main army, and Kaz now continues to push up in this position. He's going to take this out. We're seeing a transfer of those drones now working their way back down to these 2 building bases. No mining going on there for Snute at the moment, though. And Kaz does still have this base mining. He's got this orbital mining as well. Here comes a push. Infestors placing down some infested Terrans to try to help with the DPS. Roaches also moving forward. With that scan, Kaz was able to see those bird units, making those bird infestors vulnerable, so it's going to force Snute to pull back here. More infestors joining the fun. A few more roaches also coming into play. This game has been nuts, I tell ya. The second this hatchery finishes and Snute's prepared to saturate it, we see the push from Kaz. He's going to, again, take this out in a matter of seconds, but here comes so many infestors. Bunch of infested Terrans getting placed down. He's going to actually force some splash damage against his own Thors there. So those infested Terrans getting targeted by the tanks. Now, I would really like to see some more Neuroparasite. Not like he's lost the ability to do that. Just hasn't really done it in a while. This expansion is a goner. Looks like he canceled it when he realized that was just going to get taken out anyways. So consistently, Snute's just trying to get his expansions back up. Ton of infested Terrans over here. Let's see if he takes out that planetary. Yeah, he's got it. Look at that. Takes out the planetary fortress over here. Continues to push with his infestors. A few roaches in the mix as well. Neuroparasite coming into play. However, he just lost bulk of his infestors over there. So these roaches are being forced back. So was able to take out that base, forcing the liftoff of another orbital command here for Kaz. Kaz has just got, you know, bases waiting, and actually now Kaz placing down an expansion over here. Infestors forced back right now, and we got a strong army moving out for Kaz, and oh no, because Snute has been without mining for so long, he's got no army, and Snute calls the GG good play. What a game, what a game. Alright my friends, thank you for watching this absolutely crazy back and forth game between Kaz and Snute. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Lots of fun to watch, lots of fun to commentate. As always guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Stay tuned in the future for more StarCraft 2 gaming commentary and news. As always, keep watching and keep owning.